Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a reformer class for you. It is going to be just a very quick stability class on your reformer. Lots of core, lots of arms. So if you don't have a ton of time, this is a really good class to do. We're gonna start on one heavy spring. Foot bars are gonna be all the way down. Now, if you do have a foot bar that moves like my infinity foot bar where it can go closer to your carriage or further away, I did bump my foot bar in 3 positions inward so that my foot bar is technically closer to my platform. Now, if you don't have a foot bar that does that, that is fine. You can move the placement of your hands. We're gonna start kneeling on our reformers. Feet can be up against the shoulder blocks. If you do have shorter legs, you can go a little further forward. Again, one heavy spring. And then I'm gonna take my hands on either the wooden platform. Again, this is why I moved my foot bar, or onto my foot bar. Now, again, if it's too far away, hands can obviously go onto the wooden platform that's closer to you. I'm gonna start in my 4-point kneeling position. So my shoulders over my hands and my hips are over my knees. Without my arms moving, I'm gonna inhale and just push my carriage out with my knees, and then pause here. Make sure that you are not collapsing into your low back. So you're able to hold a neutral spine. And then on my exhale, I'm gonna let my knees come back in. So again, I'm gonna inhale, push my carriage out with my knees, and then I'm gonna exhale and pull my carriage back in. Push and pull. Think drawing the abs in on our exhale when we pull our knees back in. So it's not the spring bringing us back in, it is our core bringing the carriage back in. Okay, I'm gonna go for 2, and then last one. Now, when we come back in, make sure that your knees don't move. So my hips are gonna stay right over my knees. On my next inhale, I'm gonna push the carriage out with my arms as far as you feel comfortable. Again, knees don't move. So the hips stay over the knees the entire time. And then I'm gonna exhale and pull my carriage back in with my arms. So as far as you wanna go. I'm not gonna worry too much about my shoulders coming up into my ears for this. But then when I come back in, I'm gonna make sure that my shoulders draw back down my spine. So I'm gonna inhale, push out, not worrying about my shoulders. And then when I come back in, I'm gonna make sure that my shoulders are down. Inhale, push, and exhale, pull. My abs are in to my back. Okay, let's go for 2. And then last one. Okay, now once we come back in, we're gonna pause with our carriages in. We're gonna change to a medium spring, take off your heavy. So just one medium spring, take off the heavy. Again, hands are out in front of you. Into our 4-point kneeling position. We're gonna combine those 2 movements together now. So I'm gonna push the carriage out with my knees first. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna push my carriage out with my arms next, pause. I'm gonna pull in with my arms first, and then I'm gonna pull in with my legs last. So it's gonna be an inhale to push out with the knees. Keep the inhale when we push out with the arms. Then we exhale to bring our arms in, and then our knees pull in last. So again, knees out, arms in, knees in. So think hold your kneeling plank as long as possible. Okay, last one here, knees, arms, and knees. Then we are going to change to one light spring. That medium spring is going to come off. This is more challenging, so careful with your range of motion. It might be a little smaller this time. We push out with the knees first. We push out with the arms next. We pull in with the arms first. We pull in with the knees last. Same breath. Inhale with the knees and the arms. Exhale, pull in with the arms and knees. Knees, arms, knees. I'm gonna do 2 more here. And then last one. Okay, now once we come back in, we're gonna pause in. Now, let's make that a little harder. If you feel comfortable, take off your spring and try to do this with no springs. If you don't feel comfortable, keep the spring on. Again, 4-point kneeling position. If you took it off, range of motion might be a little smaller. Knees push out first. Make sure that we don't collapse into our low backs. Arms push out second. Arms pull in first. Knees pull in last. Knees push, arms push, arms pull, knees pull. Let's try to do 3 more. Inhale out, exhale in. 2. Ooh, and then last one. Oh, okay. Add on your light spring again if you took it off. So light spring, and then I am gonna put my foot bar up just 1 position. So it's not all the way up, it's about halfway up. My hands are gonna go onto my foot bar. I'm gonna step up onto my carriage. When I step up onto my carriage, my toes are gonna be curled over the edge. Now, eventually, if you do want this more challenging, you can walk your feet a little further back. That does make it a little harder, but let's all start with our toes curled over the edge. Fist distance away from each other. Chest is over the foot bar. I'm gonna inhale, slowly press the carriage out with my legs. And then on an exhale, I'm gonna tuck my pelvis, hike my hips, come back in. It's up to you if you let the heels come down every time you bring the carriage in, or if you keep your heels lifted. Inhale to push out. Exhale, tuck, pike to come back in. Now again, if you want it harder, you can always step your feet a little further back. That gives you a little less resistance to come in. Inhale, push. Exhale, pike to come back in. Out and in. I'm gonna do 3, 2, and 1. Okay, all the way back in. Feel free to shift your weight back just to give yourselves a little stretch. You can roll out your wrists if you want to. And then we are going to go into some squats last here. Again, if your feet are a little further back, it is a little more challenging. So up to where your feet are at. Hands are on the foot bar. Shift your weight forward again. Push your legs out. Hold your planks. This time we're going to inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, stretch the legs. Our butt should be staying about the same level the entire time. So I don't want your butts to go up when you bend your knees. Keep them down. Bend, stretch, bend, stretch. Inhale in, exhale away. 4 more. 2 and 1. Okay, lift the hips, bring it all the way back in. Step off to the side and then just change back to a medium setting for springs. Take off your light. So again, medium setting for springs. We're gonna kneel on our reformers now, facing the opposite side. Knees can be up against your shoulder blocks. I do scoot mine eventually when we get into this just a tiny bit further back. My hands are gonna go onto the frame of my reformer. And then once I get here, we can start in a 4-point kneeling position again, but I am gonna walk my hands out just a little further away so I can work into my core just a little more. So I walked out maybe like 6 inches further away. Then from this position, I'm gonna shift forward so that my shoulder's over my hands. I did pull my carriage out slightly when I did that. Keep your arms here. On an exhale, I'm gonna tuck my pelvis, pull my knees in through my hands so my butt goes down towards my heels. I'm allowing the blue spring to bring my knees away from my body. So I'm gonna exhale, tuck and pull in. I'm gonna allow the spring to bring my knees out. Exhale, pull, and inhale back. Again, the arms don't move. Should really feel your lats working to stabilize you here. Exhale and inhale. Scoop into the abs. But it should be going back to the heels every time we pull in. 2 more. And then last one. and then back out. Okay, now once we go back out, we're gonna pause. We're gonna move into obliques next, and then after that, we're gonna make those a lot harder. Both hands are gonna go to the right side of your reformer. Again, I'm walking my hands just a little further out. I'm gonna pull just in with my arms slightly so that my chest is like right over my hands. And then on the next, I'm gonna tuck and pull in and then out. So I want my right obliques firing as I pull, and then I'm letting that blue spring bring it back. Again, butt should be going like down towards your heels when you pull in and out. Let's do 4. And then last one. Okay, all the way back out. Both hands are gonna go to the left side. Same thing, I'm just taking mine a little further away. I'm gonna pull in with my arms first. Now my arms don't move. I'm gonna tuck, pull in with my left obliques this time. Arms work to hold you here. So I am really feeling my lats working here. Exhale, pull, inhale back. Four more. And 1. Ooh, okay. We're gonna change now to a light spring again. Make sure that medium one comes off. This is gonna be a lot more challenging. If it's too hard, going on no springs will actually make this easier. So if you need to go no springs, go no springs. If you need to stay on your knees, stay on your knees. So you do have a couple of options here. I'm gonna set my knees back up against my shoulder blocks. Hands are back onto the frame. This time my toes are curled underneath me. I'm gonna walk my hands further out than before. So I'm like, I don't know, a foot away from my shoulders with my hands, keeping my toes curled. I'm gonna lift my knees up, stretch my legs, and I'm gonna find a plank position. I am gonna zip my legs together here too, so find a plank position. You might have to move your hands and your legs. On an exhale, you're gonna tuck your pelvis, bend your knees to pull the carriage out, inhale back, exhale, tuck, pull, inhale, return, scoop into your abs. Again, these are a lot harder than before. Let's go. 4, 2, 1. Much harder to work against the springs when we're pulling the carriage out and in. Now, into our obliques. When we do obliques, the hips will shift right to left, right to left. You will have to adjust your, actually, you know what? Let's stay on the right for the first set. We'll go on to the left for the second set. We will have to kind of shift our feet here, and just know your feet and your pelvis will move to the right when we go to the right, and then to the left when we go to the left. Hands are gonna go back onto the frame of your reformer. Again, we're gonna walk them back out much further away. Toes should be curled underneath you. I'm gonna lift my knees up, stretch out. Okay, find your plank position again. From here, we're gonna rotate to the right side slightly. When we rotate slightly to the right, we're gonna tuck, pull the carriage out, and then let it go back. Tuck, pull, let it go back. Your hips need to stay rotated to the right the entire time we're working our left obliques. 3 more. 2, 1. Okay, back to the center, readjust. We rotate to the left side. Hold to the left, tuck, pull, extend, tuck, pull, extend. Right obliques this time. 4 more. 2 and 1. Whew, okay, carefully come down. I know that is a lot on the wrists. Feel free to give your wrists a little roll, shoulders a little bit of a roll. Okay, then we're gonna step off to the side of our reformers. When we step off to the sides, we're gonna go onto just a heavy spring. Now, take off the light, roll out your wrists, and then your foot bars can stay here. Otherwise, I might, actually, you know what? I won't hit my feet. So I'm gonna keep my foot bar here. We're gonna go into forearm planks. Now, Last thing that we're gonna do, if you wanna make this more challenging, you can do it on a medium spring instead of a heavy spring, which I just changed to a medium. So medium, harder, one heavy, it's gonna be more easier. Change your springs as needed. We're gonna kneel facing the straps again. When we kneel, I'm gonna scoot my knees back. Toes are gonna be right on the edge of our platform behind us, and then our forearms are gonna go down into our headrest. Now, personally, I like when my hands are in the headrest. If you wanna take your hands onto the outsides and hold on to your shoulder blocks, I do have some clients who do that. That is just a little more like comfortable for some people. So if you wanna hang out here, you can. Otherwise, your hands can be together in your headrest. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna hang out here with my hands. Okay, I'm gonna push down into my forearms, lift my knees up, stretch my legs out, hold. We're gonna go into pikes. We're gonna tuck the pelvis like the hips and push back out. Now, should be easier than our last pikes because our springs are helping to bring us in and out. We're not working against them. Scoop into your core. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bend the knees, carefully come down. We're gonna do 2 more things there, and then we are gonna finish off. Stretch. Forearms are down, toes are behind us, lift the knees up again, stretch those legs, hold. Okay, into squats, we bend the knees, we stretch the legs. We inhale, we bend, and we exhale to stretch, just like we're coming down and push out. 3, 2, okay, now on this last one, let's stay up. So keep those legs long, elbow sides to finish. Arms push, arms pull, arms push, arms pull. It's not a big range of motion. Abs are in. 2 more. Last one. Ooh, and bend to come all the way back in. Okay, we're gonna rotate towards our foot bars for a stretch. I am gonna put my foot bar back up to the starting position, and then you can technically stay on a medium spring or a heavy spring. It's up to you. It really doesn't matter for the stretch. Hands are gonna go onto the foot bar. My feet are up against the shoulder blocks. I'm gonna push out with my arms. My butt is gonna stay lifted, and I'm gonna drop my chest down here in between my arms. So keep your butts lifted, drop the chest. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, then I'm gonna drop my butt down. My feet are in my headrest this time. Hold here. Bring the carriage all the way back in. Okay, last thing. Again, springs really don't matter for this. I want a little more resistance for a stretch, so I am gonna change to a heavy spring. You can stay on the medium if you'd like. We're gonna finish off with 1 mermaid on each side. So I'm gonna sit with my right hand closer to the foot bar, left hand closer to the foot bar, left leg is bent down in front of me, right leg is up against the shoulder blocks. Left hand goes to the center of the foot bar. I'm gonna push out, and I'm gonna go up and over. Now, when I'm here, I'm pulling my right sit bones down, and I'm just trying to stretch out the right side of the body as much as I can. Then I'm gonna rotate to the floor. My right hand grabs the foot bar, my left hand slides wide, and then I'm gonna push into my left palm, and I'm gonna pull with my right. So push with my left palm, pull with my right so I can stretch out my right lats. Then I'm evenly weighted throughout both palms. I'm gonna lift my chest, bring the carriage in. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So flip over, left shin can be up against the shoulder blocks, right hand is on the foot bar. We're gonna push out, go up and over. Again, think pull your left sits bones down so you can really stretch out that left side body here. Rotate to the floor. Left hand should grab the foot bar. Right hand is gonna slide wide. We're pushing with the right palm and pulling with our left palm this time. So again, push right, pull left, stretch out that left lat. Okay, evenly weighted throughout both palms. Lift the chest, bring the carriage all the way in. We can sit off to the sides. We are all finished with that quick workout. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today.